Hi traders, I've been testing the Waka Waka Expert Advisor for 3 months now. It is my favorite expert advisor and my best performing EA. This is my own personal account trading the Waka Waka Expert Advisor. This account started off at $500 and right now is up at $660 for the past 86 days. This is a real account on the Go Markets broker. It is a plus account with 500 to 1 leverage, but you probably don't need all 500 to 1 leverage. You can get away with much lower leverage. This EA trades the Aussie Canadian, Aussie New Zealand and New Zealand Canadian dollar, and you can see in the pie chart here that they're fairly balanced across all 3 different currency pairs. The month returns so far have been just under 10%. Let's look at the trade statistics. The win ratio has been quite high at about 73.9%. And if we look at the average win of about $2, whereas the average loss is just under double that. However, that is okay because of the high win factor of 73%. This is the most important chart of all, the banked and floating profit and loss hourly. Now there is a equivalent of the day end one where there isn't that much detail, and that's what you can also get in myfxbook. But in FX Blue, this is the only place where I've seen it go to the hourly profit and loss, which shows you a much more accurate representation of the drawdowns that an expert advisor can have. This chart will show you the hidden drawdowns behind the scenes that you can't see from a balance chart. And you can see initially our worst case floating profit and loss is about $150. So worst case scenario in the past 3 months, I've seen a $150 floating loss. And the second example of the worst case scenario is about a $100 floating loss. You can also see a better representation of this on the floating profit and loss cash hourly. So here it just makes it horizontal, and as I mentioned before, $150 is the worst case that we've seen, and the second worst case scenario has been about the $80 mark. If we break it down by the different currency pairs of the Aussie Canadian, Aussie New Zealand and New Zealand Canadian, you can see the win rate across all the different 3 pairs have been consistently high at above 72%, and the average win generally is smaller than the average loss. This is the vendor's account on myfxbook. This one is double verified. It is a real account on the ICE FX broker on MT4, and the vendor also has a reasonably high leverage of this one, 1 to 300. Now this account also started at $500 and is currently up at about $6,000. But remember, she's also withdrawn $4,000, so probably about a $12,000 account if she didn't make the withdrawals. Looking at the drawdown, on the left here, you can see it's got at 26%, whereas on the right-hand side, you can see the worst case scenario is about above 20%. I find this number on the left here much more reliable and accurate. The one on the right-hand side is more of a best case scenario. Scrolling down, I'm going to go through some of the advanced statistics to make sure that her wins and my wins are exactly the same. So her average win rate of about 73% and 75% is in line with mine. Her average win factor is $8 and average loss is $13. So similar statistics to what I'm seeing on my account. A couple of things I want to point out for this particular myfxbook account. Now this vendor openly shows her open trades, so you can see exactly what trades that she has opened. She's got a handful of Aussie New Zealand and 1 Aussie Canadian open. If we switch over to my own personal account, I can see 1 Aussie Canadian open and a handful of Aussie New Zealand. So I know that my settings are very comparable with hers. That's transparency for you. And Valerie also shows every single trade that she's ever taken, including the lot size, the currency. There is nothing hidden here. So if you really want to nerd out on the statistics and analyze each and individual trade, you can. This account started about 4.5 years ago in 2018, and you can see it every single month in 2018. It has been profitable, with the highest at about 12%. 2009, again, every single month profitable. 2020, every single month is profitable, but you can see every month it changes a little bit. Sometimes you've got 5%, sometimes you've got 25% returns, so it does vary month on month. 2021, still profitable. 2022, still profitable. 2023, currently it is the 1st of May 2023, so nothing there yet, but you can see in 2023 the vendor has become more conservative. You can see the 1-2% recently, whereas before she was quite aggressive, returning 10 or 12% every month. This is the marketing page for the Waka Waka Expert Advisor. It's also available on the MQL5 website, but if you buy it from this link, you will get $200 off, and we'll post a link to this in the description below. There is a free 14-day trial if you wanted to check it out yourself and make sure that it works on your specific broker. I'm going to scroll down to my favorite part of this page, which is the profit calculator. This one right here. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, especially newbies, think they're going to turn their $1,000 into $1 million, which is not the case. And this one is really good in terms of setting expectations. Let's say I only have $5,000. If I was trading on a high risk setting for 2 years, what kind of returns would I be expecting? About 11,000 over 2 years. Now, this is really good results. That's over 100% per year. But it does set your expectations that you're not going to turn this $5,000 into $1 million. And on high risk settings, you might see about a 30% drawdown. If this is too high for you, that's okay. Go with a lower risk setting. I'm logged into my user dashboard that everyone gets when they buy an expert advisor from Forex Trading. You can see that she offers 4 total different expert advisors, and Waka Waka honestly is my favorite, seconded by the Golden Pickaxe. And every single expert advisor that she sells, there is also a dedicated Telegram channel, which I do recommend you join, because sometimes Valerie will turn off her EAs for high impact news. So if you follow it, you'll get notified. If you want to have similar results to hers, I do recommend turning your EAs off as well. Now, this robot can be used as a beginner or an advanced function. So this is the documentation that you will get when you get the EA. There's 65 pages worth, and it covers a lot. You don't have to go into the advanced function if you don't want to, because she provides set files for you. But if you really want to nerd out on it and check out all the different functions that are available, she does list each and every single one of her parameters. So if you really wanted to nerd out on the parameters and use advanced techniques like optimization to get even more money out of it, you can. Back to the dashboard. On the left, you'll see myfxbook, where she will show you all her different links. So for Waka Waka, you can see there are 2 different myfxbook accounts. And if you wanted to have the same results as hers, she provides the exact set files that she is using. Every single user who buys an expert advisor from Valerie will also get a free VPS. It is a 2-core 80 gig disk VPS. It's a reasonably small one with only 2.5 gigabytes of RAM. And this is the VPS that you will get. You can see I'm running 5 different instances of MT4 terminals. The VPS handles them fine. CPU is reasonably low, and the memory is chugging along fine. So I have no issues running all the expert advisors on this one VPS. And this is what your EA will look like once you've put it on a chart. It looks pretty nice. Right now there are no news events coming up, but if there were, you'll see them in this box right here on the right hand side. And this is the settings that I'm personally using. There are some settings down here if you wanted to attempt this with FTMO. There's some specific rules in terms of if you want to limit the drawdown. I'm going to scroll down, but you don't really need to take a look at this, because this is the exact settings that I've downloaded from the user dashboard in the myfxbook section. So you can just grab it from there. If we take a look at the historical trades, you can see I put in $500. This is a real account at the start of February. And scrolling down, you can see a lot of the trades did take profit. And from an open trade perspective, you can see this is exactly the same as I showed you before on the myfxbook and FX Blue. I've got the one Aussie Canadian and the rest are Aussie New Zealand. And the floating profit and loss is about $26 at the moment. I want to show you the trades on a chart because it's important to understand how this EA works and the money management side of things. So generally speaking, you can see right here, you've got a sell trade, and when it takes profit, that's it. That's the end of the trade. However, you can see these series of trades here. This is a buy trade in a downtrend. So when you see that, the expert advisor does openly say that this is a grid slightly martingale approach. So as the price goes against you, the EA will open up more and more trades with increasing lot size. So here you can see it started at 0.01 lot size. The next trade is 0.01, and in the 4-5 trade scenario, the biggest lot size you've seen here is 0.08 lot size. The pros of this kind of money management is that you only need a small retracement to come out in overall profit for these group of trades. However, the main downside for this is the drawdowns can be quite large. However, you can see that this is not a always in the market type of EA. You can see times where there are no trades. So there is logic put in behind the scenes to fine-tune the entries. And we've already seen through the myfxbook and the FX Blue that I haven't seen any large drawdowns for this particular EA. I'm going to scroll to the right so you can see exactly what the worst case scenario has been for the past few months. I can see a 4 trade scenario here. The rest of the time, these small trades, they are just entering and hitting profit straight away. So you can see they're selling right at the top and managing to grab a small profit as the price is returning to the median. Pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 worst case scenario here of 5 trades again, and that's it for the New Zealand CAD. Now we've got the Aussie Canadian. Looks like this one is a 6 trade scenario where the worst case scenario has been a 0.12 lot size, and you needed about a small retracement. This one is about 48 pips out of a 200 pip trend, so about 25 pip retracement to go back into profits for this particular trade. Scrolling to the right, let's see if we can find something else that's worse than that. All these look pretty good. All these would have resulted in very low drawdowns. More profitable trades, and that is the worst case scenario. Lastly, the Aussie New Zealand. Now there are a few open trades, so I apologize if it looks a little bit messier. I'll try and keep it succinct and to the point. So up here, no major issues, no major drawdowns. I can see each trade is coming out with profit quite nicely with no major drawdowns. We've got a 3 trade scenario here. More 3 trade scenarios. This one is a 4 trade scenario where the worst lot size was 0.04. Scrolling on, and that is it. That is the worst case scenario for the Aussie New Zealand. So what I can see historically from the past 3 months, the management is pretty good in terms of the worst case scenario. $150 is the worst case we've seen trading at 0.01 lot size. The rest of the time, all 3 currencies have come out in profit reasonably well without much of a drawdown. Remember, I am a random crazy person on the internet with absolutely no credibility, so you should always do your own testing, analysis, and research. While the Waka Waka EA is my favorite EA, my second favorite EA is the Golden Pickaxe Expert Advisor, where the logic is pretty much based on the Waka Waka applied to the gold market. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.